those are in attribution.
Ad networks is one.
I would say it's the folks that jump in at the last second. And I would say across the board, the number one offender to that is Facebook. That looks great on paper, but when you actually dig into the data and really analyze, not at a high level, but dig into individual paths, you actually see that the data shows that those folks that jump in at the last second actually had no effect whatsoever in driving the decision. They just happened to be there. They just showed up for the party at the last second.
John.
Well, we were talking earlier, we were talking about branded search, and that's what I was going to say, but actually I'm going to disagree with myself, because I think a good example
We haven't had enough arguing, so he's turning to himself to argue.
Because-
That's awesome.
again, you've got to look at price, right? Branded search never loses because it's cheap. And that's what you've got to think about with all of this. If it's cheap, you're going to keep it. And branded search is threepence a click or whatever. So I think you've got to factor that in. I think, you know, if I was a media planner in an agency, I wouldn't want an attribution tool telling me what to do. I'll just leave it to that.
Paul.
I tend to take an optimistic view and say what tends to work better. And so, you know, a lot of things that Jeff and Phil talked about were, you know, lower value inventory. So, you know, what we see a lot of times is that higher value inventory, which has always been really hard to justify sometimes because it's expensive. You know, quality matters. Quality of content, quality of ad placement matters. And a lot of times you can justify things. We've seen that particularly with video of late. We've seen video perform a lot better on a fractional attribution basis than a last event basis. And so I think that's something to think through. And again, it just gets back a little bit to what Jeff said. You know, a lot of times that crappy inventory, it's so cheap that you just buy so much of it that it's just getting in front of people before they convert. It's not really helping them down that path.
And that is it for this evening. Thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. There's an open bar, and as I said, it's coming out of Paul's personal bank account, so
Awesome.
do what you have to do.